Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar. In this webinar, we will be discussing about how you can easily connect your WooCommerce store with your Sage 300 ERP via APPSeCONNECT, which is a no-code integration platform. Myself, Madhuvanti Roy, I am the pre-sales lead of InSync TechFin Solution. Here is my contact information. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Please look into the agenda of today's discussion. Firstly, we will start off with the brief of APPSeCONNECT. Then we'll talk about benefit of having the integration between WooCommerce and Sage. Then we will give you the overview of our platform, like how we can connect, how we deploy our APPSeCONNECT platform. Then we'll talk about the advantages of APPSeCONNECT and also the benefits of WooCommerce and Sage integration. We also have prepared to show you a demo between WooCommerce and Sage. Now let's get to know how you can automate your business process with the help of APPSeCONNECT. Well, APPSeCONNECT is an iPaaS platform. It's a smart, robust integration platform as a service, which benefits the end users with incredible features and provides solution to meet the business requirement, which definitely saves your time, effort, so you can totally focus on your profitability, which definitely boosts the productivity. Well, APPSeCONNECT is a provider of both hybrid and cloud hosted application, which can connect two or more applications irrespective of ERP, e-commerce, and marketplaces. Here, for this integration, like between WooCommerce and Sage, we synchronize the information between these two applications bidirectionally. That means we can create a connector bidirectional form where we can synchronize your information from WooCommerce to Sage and Sage to WooCommerce, vice versa. By the help of our out-of-the-box feature, you can achieve extensive logging and monitoring and speed up your market go-to time. There are lots of benefits of having WooCommerce integration with Sage 300. First of all, whenever we create a connector between these two apps, it will eliminate the repetitive data entry and avoid the human errors, which will decrease order to dispatch time significantly. And definitely, as everything will be set up automatically, which will save your time and effort and boost your efficiency. As there is minimum manpower is required, so we can say it will reduce the operational cost, and all the features, all the connectors, details, all the configuration will be set up by APPSeCONNECT. If you go with that, then everything will be automatic. We have automatic trigger modes are available where you can synchronize all the details automatically, where you don't have to do manually synchronization. Well, which will definitely, as everything will be set up automatic way, so you can fully focus on your growing business, which will increase the visibility of data held in WooCommerce and to assist decision making, which will improve the productivity and the profitability. Now have a look how we can connect between these two applications. So all the integration will be based on the APIs. For WooCommerce and Sage, we will take the help for REST API. So if the APIs are present, we can definitely integrate in between these two platforms. For connecting with WooCommerce, like before we start the integration, first of all, we have to connect with the WooCommerce and Sage environment. To connect with the WooCommerce environment, we will be needing few technical information, that is the API key, password, the base URL. By the help of this three information, we can connect with the WooCommerce account, like for which WooCommerce account we are going to fetch and push the information. To know that, we will be needing this information. Nextly, to connect with Sage 300 ERP, we will be needing the other information, that is the web API, the base URL, the tenant ID, username, password, and the company name information. Just to mention you, for synchronizing with Sage, the web API should be enabled. Sometimes you have seen that says 300 accounts for the newest version greater than 2015, the web API is not enabled. As I mentioned, everything, all the integration configuration will be set up and will take help for the REST API to access the API, to access the web API that should be enabled. So make sure for the integration purpose, the web API is the required field. In our process flow designer, so in our cloud portal, we have a process flow designer. By the help of that process flow, you can drag and drop your details, which is basically no code integration. So you don't have to create or write a single code, but you can do the integration by the help of the process. You have to only create a process. So APPSeCONNECT process flow so it features on extensive interface that provide the ability to easily create digital maps to make out robust process flows. The drag and drop interface is very easy to use by any integrator. With the aid of process flow feature, user can graphically organize, create and view the data flow of process, thereby enabling customers to design integration anytime and anywhere with the help of our cloud portal. This process flow supports tailored business rules, email templates, and automation flows and monitoring process. You can build and deploy process flow from simple to sophisticated through a modern native cloud platform, which is APPSeConnect.com. So it is very easy to implement this process flow and very easy to deploy it in your platform. We support two models for the deployment. One is the hybrid integration, another one is the cloud integration. If you are using one application which is on-premise and otherwise on cloud, in that case, we have to go with the hybrid approach or hybrid integration, where we have to install our small piece of software that is APPSeConnect agent in your on-premise application server. If you're using the on-premise ERP, we have to install our agent in your on-premise ERP server. You can keep it some other windows as well. We just need the .NET framework and proper internet connectivity to install our agent. But as I said, in our cloud portal, everything like all the configuration will be set up on the cloud. Only to connect with your on-premise application, we have to install our agent in your ERP server in the hybrid integration mode. But if you're using both platform on cloud, that means if both applications are on cloud, and you are going with the cloud integration, in that case, you don't have to engage any kind of server. Everything will be set up on our cloud portal in portal.appseconnect.com. Everything will be set up there. You don't have to engage any kind of server in that case. There are lots of advantages we have if you use this APPSeConnect product. First of all is our process flow, which is a visual integration designer, which is no code platform where you can integrate your information by the help of the process. We can create pre-built packages for quick integration as well. That means you can reuse your packages if you are using another plan or another integration. In that case, you can reuse the packages as well, which will definitely automate the workflows for efficient integration. Our connector is way more customizations are always welcome. So if anything required, which is out of the box, which is beyond the out of the box features, any changes, any kind of customizations are required, we are always welcome that. If the APIs are available, we can connect the information between the application. And of course, the deployment model is very easy and very easy to execute this by the help of our implementation team. We have our implementation team will implement the entire process for you. And in our APPSeConnect, we have the tracking and data error packets like we have a rising bucket where you can get to see the result of the synchronization. So for any integration, if there are any kind of error happen, for example, you're synchronizing a particular process, let's say that you are synchronizing the customer sync and you forgot to mention one mandatory field. In that case, in our rising bucket, the error will be available and you can resync the error once you rectified it. In our transaction log, you can track every details about the synchronization. Every second you can track if any error happened, so it is very easy to rectify that error. Also, apart from this, email notification options are available. So we can set up mail ID where we'll receive email from APPSeCONNECT where it will be mentioned like how many successful synchronization happened, if any error occurred or not. Everything will get via email. So we don't have to pay attention all the time in our APPSeCONNECT as well. As I already told you that we support the multiple modes of deployment and we can trigger the integration manually and automatically. Like you can set up everything in automatic mode. You can schedule at particular time and the data will get synced on that particular time. You don't have to click or play anything manually. If I set in 1 minute, so data will synchronize for every 1 minute. If I sync or schedule it like every day at 12 a.m., the data will get synced. We also can schedule that. We have arranged a demo for WooCommerce and Sage integration. In our demo, we will follow this integration point. Like we will start off with the customer add from WooCommerce to Sage, where we will be creating a new customer in WooCommerce side and we'll sync it to Sage. Then go with the simple product add, which will be taking place from Sage to WooCommerce. Also, we'll update the inventory for the same item and place an order on behalf of the customer, which we have synced. And thereafter, once the order is posted as a shipment and invoice in the Sage side, we will update the status also from Sage to WooCommerce direction. So this is the basic sales cycle which we will cover in our next demo. Please have a look the demonstration between WooCommerce and Sage integration. Hello and welcome to the demonstration of APPSeCONNECT. In today's demonstration, we will be showing you the integration between WooCommerce and Sage 300 via APPSeCONNECT. We have the demo connector and demo setup ready for WooCommerce and Sage. So this is the WooCommerce environment and this is the Sage environment. And in our cloud portal, which is portal.appseconnect.com, here we have configured the integration between these two applications. This is our process flow designer where we have created the connector in between WooCommerce and Sage. So it's a totally drag and drop method from the left side panel. We just drag the thing and drop it here in the designer. In this mapper section, we have done all kind of mapping, which is based on the APIs. Let's start with the customer sync. So I'm going to the WooCommerce in where I can create a new customer. So I'm putting the username first, then an unique email ID. After that, I'm putting all the mandatory information like the first and last name. So when a customer visits your store and register themselves, it will be created here in the backend of the WooCommerce as a user. So here I have created the customer. Here you can see. Now I'm going to, the role is customer for this user. And now I'm going to put the different details like the billing shipping addresses for this particular customer. So I'm randomly adding all the information. Okay. So let me just copy it for the shipping ones I can use for both billing shipping purpose and let's update this. So the customer is created successfully in the WooCommerce in. Now I'm going to the panel of the portal.appseconnect.com and here in the process flow designer, here is an option to execute this process flow. So let me just click on it and you can see the tracker is on. So it has started the synchronization. You can see it. And once the synchronization is done, once the process flow executed with success, that means the data is synced. It is showing the process flow execution ended with success. So I'm going to the Sage environment to check whether the data is successfully synced or not. I'm going to the account receivable section and here under the Here customer tab, there is a customer section. Let me open it. And now I will find it with the name of the customer. So for this demo purpose, I have added only the default fields. Apart from this, if you have any other information and you want to map it, that can be possible. So let me choose the customer name. So I have searched it with the name of the customer and here it is. Let me just choose it. And it is present or successfully synced in the Sage environment from WooCommerce to Sage. The data is successfully synced and the customer name, the details which I have mentioned, like the address information, everything has synced. Apart from this, as I said, if you have any other information which you want to get synced, that is possible. And this is completely a bidirectional process. So if you have any existing customer present in your Sage direction and you would like to sync back from Sage to WooCommerce, that is also possible. So the customer sync I have showcased from WooCommerce to Sage. Now I'm going to create an item in the Sage side and then I will sync it from Sage to WooCommerce direction. So here I'm going to create an item first. Under the inventory control, I'm just going to the item, IC items and price list tab. And here under the items tab, let me just create an item. So here, let me just add the item. So in the Sage side, we have to build up the structure code first, which is the mandatory thing. So I'm putting all the mandatory information first. Once you have added all the mandatory details, just save this item. So let me just add the segment code. All right. So I'm putting the item description here. Now putting other details like the category and other information, which is the mandatory. Randomly adding all the information. Here, let me add the weight. And here in the additional field, we'll use as a remarks, or we can say the long description. We can utilize it and we can sync to the WooCommerce side. As in e-commerce platform, there are several different kind of description are required, like the long description, short description. So we can utilize this field for that, this additional item information. Now I'm going to the unit tab. Let me just add the unit of measure. Here it is. So I'm making it yes. I'm going to the taxes tab. And then in the optional field, let me just add the price. All right. So I have added all the mandatory details for this item. Now let me save this. So the item is created in the Sage direction. Now I'm going to sync it from Sage to WooCommerce. So for that, we have this process flow. And by the help of this process flow, we will be synchronizing the details. So let me just execute it. So this is also a bidirectional process. So if you have any existing item present in a WooCommerce end and you would like to sync those back from WooCommerce to Sage, that is also possible. So once the synchronization is done, I can go and check in the WooCommerce end that the data is successfully synced. So here it is showing that process flow execution ended success. So right now I'm synchronizing the information manually, like by clicking this play button. But every time if you want to make it in auto mode, that is also possible. We have two types of modes available. Right now I'm showing it manually, but in auto mode, you can set the timings minutely, hourly, and daily basis. So if I put 1 minute, so the data will synchronize for every 1 minute. In that case, I don't have to trigger anything. So I already have synchronized the information. Now I'm going to the WooCommerce side and going to the products page to find out the result. So here you can see the information which I have added in the Sage side. It is successfully synchronized here in the WooCommerce direction with all information. So this is the main item description, which has synchronized as a title, and the main information like the details item information where I have added the test as a description, which is synchronized as a long description here. If I scroll down, the exact regular price, which I have mapped, which is synced. And if I just scroll up here, if I go to the inventory tab, the exact SKU which I have added, which is showing here as well. Now I'm going to the next step, that is the stock update. Right now the stock status is showing out of the stock. So right now I'm going to the Sage environment and going to the inventory control, where under the IC transaction and adjustment tab, I can update the quantity for this item. So I'm adding the line. Firstly, what I have to do is searching the item. So let me just search the item with the name. Here it is. After that, the next thing which I have to do, I have to map the location, which is, I'm choosing like the warehouse code I can mention here. So for the warehouse, we also support multiple warehouse synchronizations. If you have multiple information, you want to have the summation of all warehouses and you want to push it to the WooCommerce site, that is also possible. It's totally customers' requirement how they want to map it. We will do it accordingly, customers' demand. So I have put in the quantity as 122. Now I'm going to post it. So the adjustment is posted successfully. Now I'm going to the process flow, where I can synchronize the inventory. So here is the inventory update process flow. Let me just execute it. And I've started it and I have started the execution here. So data has successfully synced. All the details regarding the synchronization will be showing here in this tracker node. And you can see the graphical representation as well. So now I'm going to check here. What I have to do, I just need to refresh this page. So the page is refreshed. Now I'm going to the inventory page. So here you can see the stock quantity is updated to 122 and the managed stock is option and the status is changed. So the inventory is updated for this item. Now the next thing is I will be creating or placing an order on behalf of the customer, which I have already synced. So I'm going to the order page. And let me just add an order. First of all, I will be adding the customer here. Nextly, I will add an item. So here is the item. And once we have added, I will add the shipping for this item. So right now for the shipping, I'm using this as a flat rate, as this is a demo environment, but any other shipping method, if you're using, we will map it based on the customer's requirements, and also the amount will be calculated with the mean amount. So I have added the flat rate as 10. Let me just save it. So the shipping is added with the main amount, and let me just create this sales order. So the order is created. Now I'm going to the process flow. So I've opened the sales order process flow. Now I'm executing this. So once the synchronization is done, so it has started the synchronization. Now I'm going to the Sage environment and let's go to the order entries tab. Under OE transaction, let me just go to the order entry page where I can find out the order. So just to mention you that a duplicate check will be always there. So we can synchronize the WooCommerce order ID as well with synchronizing of the sales order. And a duplicate check will be on the top of that. So if the order ID is already present, it will not sync again. So there is no chances of duplicate scenario. And if you have any guest customer scenario, we also can support it and we'll map it accordingly. So let me just find out with the customer name. So I have opened the customer sales order. Let me just select it. All the details which I have added for this order, everything has synced. So here is the line item. If I scroll right, exact shipping charges which I have added for this particular order, which is calculated with the mean amount, and the shipping charges is showing here, and the exact total amount is showing. this. Now I'm going to convert this sales order into shipment or invoice, and then I will sync it to the WooCommerce side. So right now, if I just go to the WooCommerce direction, the status of this order is pending payment. Once we have generated the shipping document and the invoice amount in the sales side, all the details will sync. That means this it will change the status. That means the sales cycle is completed, so the status will be changed. So as there is no such document place where you can upload a shipment doc or invoice doc in the WooCommerce side, inbuilt features it doesn't support it. So that is the reason we are changing the status right now. Apart from this, if you are using any kind of plugin for uploading the document, in that case, if the APIs are available, so we can connect it with that as well. So right now I'm going to the sales side again, and then I'm just posting this sales order into shipment, and let me just create the invoice as well. So I'm posting this sales order into shipment. First of all, let me ship all the details and then post this document. So the shipment is done. Now I'm going to create the invoice. For that, let me just click on yes. So I'm posting it for the invoice. So once the invoice is generated, it will show here. So here you can see the invoice is done. Here is the invoice number is generated. Now for the synchronization of this status, I have added this in auto mode. So here I have opened the process flow for this status change. Now I will not trigger anything. It will automatically change the status because I have set this in auto mode, and I have given this for 1 minute for the synchronization. Right now the status is pending payment. Once the synchronization is done, I just need to refresh this page to get the updated information. So I've refreshed it, and you can see the data, the status is changed to completed, and all the details, like right now I have added only this information, but as I said, that this is the basic sales cycle which we have configured for this demo purpose only. But apart from this, if any another kind of integration is required, anything else, if a customer want to integrate between these two platforms, we can do that. If the APIs are present for the field, we can map it based on the requirement. So I'd like to mention also that our APPSeCONNECT, we are working with 1250 plus customers around the world, and we are working with 150 plus partners, and we are working with 75 plus countries. We can find these are the leading brands with which we are working with right now. And you can find the reviews also. They have shared their reviews in the Capterra, which is the platform by Gartner. You can check all the reviews there about APPSeCONNECT. So we have different kind of demo and trial options are available. So if you have any question regarding APPSeCONNECT, you can reach out to us in this sales@appseconnect.com. If you are interested in a free trial to see it working for yourself, then please drop us an email, or you can request for a free trial at appseconnect.com. You can find out the phone number and the details here. Also, I'd like to mention that this webinar is recorded, and that will be definitely sent to the registrant and the recipients. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's webinar. Have a nice day.